Hello there! In the last episode, I shared the action figures that I have of the Cartoon Network's Clone Wars. Did you know there was another series of Clone Wars figures based off of that TV series? Welcome to Unboxing the Boxes, my Star Wars collection. This is episode 109, Clone Wars action figures, multi-packs, and deluxe figures. In the last episode, I shared my collection of the cartoony action figures based on the Cartoon Network's Clone Wars. As you can tell, these figures did have a very distinct cartoon look, based on that series, of course. But there was another series that came out, also based on that TV series, but made with more realistic looking action figures. So what do you think there between cartoon, realistic? I'd like to share with you today what I have collected off of the realistic series of the Clone Wars. While the single pack figures are really nice and they come with some nice accessories, at least a bunch of them come with some really nice accessories, it's the multi-packs and the deluxe figures that I think make this series a lot more fun, playable, and of course, collectible. So, let me show you what I have here. But before I do, I just want to invite you to once again like the video, share it with your friends, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel. We're slowly creeping up. I'd like to thank those of you that have subscribed. Now, let's get started and see what the realistic figures look like. The first one that we have here is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it is actually a pretty nice figure. I like the accessories that it comes with, and like I said, some of these figures come with very nice accessories. The packaging is done really well. Once again, I have some of these in a star case by ProTech. I used to buy these and put some of the action figures in them. These things, I'd do it again, but they're kind of getting expensive. So I kind of save them now for the more, shall we say, collectible figures, and not just the basic ones. But these had them, or at least most of them did. One nice thing I like about these, it has a very distinct package compared to the other figures. This is a smaller series, so these kind of stood out when they were on the shelves. And on the back, it not only gives you a clue as to what other figures you need to find to finish the series, you also get an explanation of the character and a little bit about the Clone Wars itself. Like I said, the first one here is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And if we look on the back here, it does have a number, 3/45 or 03, number 45. So I think that might mean year 2003. And then this is number 45. I don't know, I'm guessing. Probably is. I don't know. I don't care. I have discovered, though, when you look at the back of these, I missed a few again. And we'll kind of find out as we're going along which ones I missed. So here we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. And as you can tell, looking at this, Obi-Wan is, I think, very well done. He's kind of a little thinner in the face than probably Ewan McGregor would be. But like I said, it's based on the cartoon series. He does come with this blue lightsaber and a couple nice little accessories there. Looks like we have some sort of radio device and a little harness, kind of like a little harness to put over his shoulder. So there we have it, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, of course, if we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, we better have his best bud, right? His friend. And that would be Anakin Skywalker. And as you can see with Anakin, he does come with a couple nice little accessories also. He has a little bit of a headgear, kind of a radio device, his blue lightsaber, of course. He also has a shoulder harness to carry some things. And it looks like he also has a couple of arm guards that you can place on him. I like that when you get little extra accessories with the figures. It makes them a little more special as far as I'm concerned. And also, of course, a little more playable for those youngsters that like to play with them. By the way, this is number 42. So we've got 42 and 45. The next one, we have Yoda. And of course, Yoda is a smaller figure, so we've got a bigger accessory to go with him. He comes with his green lightsaber. He's wearing some sort of shoulder vestment, and he's got his little hovercraft that he can stand on, fly around as he needs to get to where he wants to go. So he doesn't have to walk. He's got very short legs, you know. So Yoda is number 44. So he's actually between these two. Who do we have next? Well, we have Mace Windu. And Mace Windu, of course, comes with his purple lightsaber, as you can see. He also has some arm guards to put on his sleeves, or put over his sleeves to protect his great-looking shirt. Actually, not too bad a figure there. The face sculpt is pretty well done. The clothes he's wearing are just plastic. They're not cloth, so they're kind of stuck in the position that they are currently in. So there we have it, Mace Windu. He is number 48, which puts him way over here by Obi-Wan. We've got some of the main Jedi of the Clone Wars. We also have an extra Jedi here, and that would be Saesee Tiin, or Saesee Tiin, however you want to say it. I don't remember right offhand. It's been a little while since I've heard how it's pronounced. But he doesn't come with a whole lot of accessories. In fact, when you look at him, he pretty much just has his green lightsaber, and that's about it. He is wearing a headset. I can't quite tell if that is removable or not, or if it is stationary on his head. I do like vestment that he's wearing below the waist there. Does appear to actually be a cloth vestment, or a cloth skirt, or whatever you want to call it. Not a bad figure. This one happens to be number 51. We'll put him over here. Okay, so we've got 5 Jedi. Well, the Jedi were generals in the Clone Wars. And of course, who are they generals over? Well, clone troopers. So let's start off with an ARC trooper. And I think ARC troopers are kind of neat. If you've watched the series, they're kind of the commanders out in the field. They very highly sought after when you think about it. What's the ones that usually sell out first in these pre-orders that Hasbro's are doing? A lot of time it's the clone troopers. Well, this one happens to come with the positional rangefinder, little adjustable thing above his helmet there. He also comes, of course, with a rifle, and that's pretty much about it. Not too many accessories with the ARC trooper. And this one happens to be number 43, so he's right by Anakin. And maybe the reason for it is, if you notice, he's kind of got a bit of a bluish tinge, but it's almost more like gray. Not sure if this would be one of the 501st or not. But still, a nice figure to go with these. So we have 42, 43, 44, 45, and then we jump to 48 and 51. Like I said, I'm missing something, but I have one more single one to show you and the multi-packs, but I'm missing one of the singles. So more than likely, that one I'm missing is filling in one of these numbers. Let me get these off to the side. We'll move to some of the deluxe and multi-packs. Okay, we had 5 Jedi here. Of course, in the Clone Wars, if you're doing a lot of Clone Wars playing at the time, that might not be enough Jedi. You need more Jedi. Disposable Jedi? So, what does Hasbro do? They come out with a multi-pack of Jedi Knights. And now these Jedi Knights, this little pack does not come with names for them. But they are kind of cool. It looks like we've got one of Greedo's relatives in there. And then, of course, we got a Twi'lek. And it looks like we have a human. Be kind of neat if they all had names, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. But still, if you look at these figures, I do like them. They're not quite so posable. There is no movement of the wrists or the elbows. We have a little movement at the shoulders from the looks of it. The knees are pretty much locked into place. So you're not going to be doing much posing with these 3 figures. But hey, these are disposable Jedi. If you're playing with a bunch of clone figures and battle droids and everything, these are probably going to be the first 3 to go because we can't kill off the main ones, you know, right? So let's put these over here. Next, we've got more Jedi. We better start getting some clone troopers other than this ARC trooper we had over here. So let's start off with a clone trooper and a speeder bike. A very nice deluxe figure for this. And let me show you what the back looks like. That is a pretty sweet setup when you think about it. You could have a lot of fun with this as a kid. But let's take a look at the figure itself. We have the Stormtrooper with detachable armor. You can see the armor behind the clone trooper there. He also comes with a pistol. And of course, that sweet little speeder bike. And that speeder bike does have missiles that launch, or it comes with one missile that you can actually launch. So you can fire it at those battle droids and knock them over. Have a little more fun. They went out of their way a little bit to come up with some pretty neat, pretty awesome play sets at this time period. I think more than what they do now, to tell the truth. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but there is a price tag on this one. This deluxe set, Clone Trooper with all the detachable armor and the speeder bike, I picked up for $12.99. The vintage collection these days is more than that for a single figure. Shows you how much the price difference has been since 2003 and 2022. Now, what else do we have? Well, like I said, we got to have more clone troopers. We got plenty of Jedis. We need more clone troopers. And yes, they did come out with multi-packs of clone troopers. The multi-packs of clone troopers each came with 3 clone troopers. There was just the basic white clone troopers, I believe. And there was the green clone troopers, the blue clone troopers, the yellow clone troopers, and I think there might have been a red one. I don't have the red one. And I don't have the white one either. However, I do have the green commander with his clone troopers. And it's kind of neat. You get 1 commander and 2 regular clone troopers. Here again, it looks like they're pretty much posed in the position they're going to be. It doesn't really look like their knees bend. They're kind of just in that shape. It looks like they might, some might swivel at the shoulder, other ones don't. And then of course they come with their rifles or pistols. One comes with his binoculars. I think the one here is kind of designed to be laying down and looking over the turf with his binoculars to see what's up ahead. Still, a very nice set for building up your clone trooper army. Get a couple of those and you could build up really quick. No price sticker on that one. Probably about the same as the other one though, $12.99. Okay, I also have the blue commander with a couple of clone troopers. And there again, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of posability with them. And here we even show one of the clone troopers actually laying down, taking a bead with his rifle on whatever is out there. Looks like the white clone trooper on this one is the same pose as the green clone trooper over here. And the blue clone trooper here is the same as the white clone trooper over here. So you can see they're kind of using the same figures, but painting them up a little differently to give you a little variety in your clone army. Like I said, there was even more than this, because I also have the yellow clone trooper commander, and this time the commander is the one wearing the binoculars. But there again, you can see the rest of the clone troopers are pretty much the same, sharing the same type of styles. There's maybe four different clone troopers within these 3 packs. And they paint them up a little differently so that each has their own commander that comes with it. And like I said, I think there was just white clone troopers, that's 3-pack, and I think there might have been a red clone trooper 3-pack. Imagine if you had all 5 of them. You would have a nice little army to put together for your playset. Now, we kind of have what we consider the good guys. Let's see what they had on the not so good guys portion of the war. Okay, the first one, if we're going to have 3 packs of all these clone troopers, we better have a 3-pack of battle droids. Yeah, and this is a sweet little 3-pack, because not only do you have the regular battle droid in here, it also comes with the super battle droid and the destroyer droids. So 3 different droids in just 1 pack. I wish this one still had a sticker on it so I know what I paid for it, but I'm going to guess it was probably that $12.99, just like the deluxe figure was, because instead of the speeder bike, you're getting 2 other figures. So once again, Very nice set. You get a few of these, you could put together a pretty good droid army. Now, that's not the only droids they had with this series. They also had a destroyer droid battle launcher. This is a heavy one. There's a lot here with this one. And as you can see, the battle droid actually gets launched out of its casing, if you want to call it that, and would roll across the floor. If you look at it, it looks like the battle droid that rolls is not the battle droid that's expanded. Those are two different figures. I think that'd be a little hard to make one that actually compacts and then expands. I can imagine that would probably break pretty quickly when the kids started playing with it. So this way you can keep your rolled up figure and just kind of switch it out and then put your actual battle droid in. But to have that launcher, and on the back here you can kind of see, it is really a nice little set, a very good set for adding to your droid army, don't you think? So not bad at all. I like that. We're building up very nicely here for that. Now, if you remember watching the Cartoon Network series, but there was a character in the Clone Wars animated shorts that you never saw in live action. In fact, was just recently introduced into the comics. That character, of course, would be Durge. Let me just read a little bit what it says about Durge on the back for those of you that are not familiar with Durge. This 2,000-year-old bounty hunter replaces Jango Fett as Count Dooku's right-hand man. A century before the Clone Wars, Durge was captured and tortured by Mandalorian warriors while trying to collect a bounty on their leader. Durge escaped and went into hibernation to recuperate. Shortly after the Battle of Geonosis, Durge awakened seeking revenge, only to find that the Mandalorians were all but extinct. Upon learning that the Republic's clone troopers were created from the Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett, Durge joined the Confederacy to enact his revenge upon Jango's clones. Along with Commander Asajj Ventress, Durge may be one of the most formidable adversaries the Jedi Knights have ever faced. And if I remember correctly, the Jedi Knights did have quite a challenge with Durge. This is kind of a nice figure when you look at it. Not only does Durge come with a rifle and 2 pistols, he also has a jetpack that he can use. So nice accessories to go with this. Now, as I was reading that, you probably noticed the action figure that I'm missing. And yep, that would be Ventress. As we can probably see on the back here, Ventress is there, and I do not have Ventress. I would like to get Ventress, but after 20 years, I don't know where I'm going to find her anymore without paying a very high price for her. And I'm cheap. I'm not going to pay $40, $50, $60 for a figure, especially just a 3 3/4 inch figure. By the way, this one happens to be number 46, so that filled in one of those little gaps we had over here with the numbering system. So I think Ventress is the one that I'm missing that would have filled in my series there. As far as the singles go, and of course I already mentioned that I'm missing a few of the clone trooper armies. I have 1 pack left, and this one also happens to be Durge, but this is the Deluxe Durge, because this is Durge with a swoop bike. And this is a very sweet swoop bike. As you can tell just by looking at the figures, I paid $12.99 for it again, as you can see. So I'm thinking the battle pack or the deluxe figures and the multi-packs were right in that $12.99, $13 range. But here again, Durge is very similar to what he was in the single pack, but the swoop bike is really what makes this one. And here, let me just show you the back of this. And that way you can really see what that swoop bike looked like. Very, very sweet. You can imagine if you had Durge on the swoop bike and the clone trooper on a speeder bike, you could have a lot of fun with these two shooting at each other, crashing into each other, and just making up your own adventures. These two would be pretty sweet. This is a heavier one. There's a lot of plastic in this one. Well, there we have it. The action figures I have collected, the realistic action figures that I have collected from the Cartoon Network's Clone Wars animated shorts. What do you think of them? I think they're kind of sweet. I like these. But of course, I like all action figures, it seems. But Hasbro seemed to put a little extra effort into a lot of these, probably more than they do these days. Now granted, some of them weren't very articulated, but when you get a 3-pack and you're just going to make a diorama or a set on your tabletop of a clone battle, what more do you really want? Your imagination is going to take care of the rest of it. But the rest of these figures are really looking sharp, I think. So what do you think? Do you like these Clone Wars action figures? If you do, leave a comment. Let me know which ones you like. If you know about that Disney Plus, where to find the TV series, let me know that also. That takes care of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you really like it. And until next time, may the Force be with you, and keep collecting.